All right, so it's raining in sunny Southern California today. It's wonderful. It's lightning, thunder. It's just amazing. And so it's darker in here than usual, and my light is brighter than usual, which is kind of cool, kind of symbolic. My light is brighter than usual. Let's hope it really is, because that's what I've got is my light, right? That's what I've got is my light. That's what I'm here to share. Light, sounds, pictures, and words, I suppose, but hopefully the words have some light to them. And today my topic is about clarity versus clutter, and which also includes comparison and people pleasing. Let me break it down. Let me tell you what I'm talking about here, because there's this really great quote that says, when you have clarity of intention, the universe conspires with you to make it happen. And maybe some of you have had that happen. I feel like I've had it happen for sure. I knew exactly what I wanted. I pretty much knew how it was going to look, how it was going to feel, how it was going to sound. I stayed on track until I got it, and I got it. I got pretty much exactly what it was that I thought I was going to get. And when I got it, it was almost as if it just felt natural. Like, yeah, of course this was going to happen. Or sometimes I even forgot about all of the struggle that it took to get it. I just snap into this place of having it and feeling natural about having it. But I think that some things don't happen quite that easy. In fact, some things feel like they just keep circling around and around, and it's like you never quite get there. So I think that there's a couple things that are a enemy to clarity. And one of them is comparison, and one of them is people pleasing. And one of them is actual clutter. Like stuff piled up all over your house or your office. It's hard to focus when there's all of these mementos of things undone or memories or whatever. But more so, I think I wanted to talk about the comparison aspect of things today, and maybe a little bit about the people pleasing. Because recently I've been having some conversations with people about relationships. I was talking to someone just the other day about relationships and what's the right kind of relationship to have, and like what's a good relationship and what's a healthy relationship. And I have a friend who is a marriage counselor. She is called Dr. Romance. Her specialty is relationships, and she's been doing it for over 30 years. And in a nutshell, her advice and her opinion and her knowledge is that the perfect relationship is whatever you want it to be. So I mean, it runs so there's so many different ways that this looks. It's like different financial pictures, different work pictures, different. I mean, there are some people who have open relationships. There are some people who are bisexual. I mean, there are people who have long distance relationships. So many different ways. But I think that one of the killers of a relationship is when you think that there's supposed to be you're comparing your relationship to somebody else's relationship. Or maybe a relationship you had in the past, or maybe a relationship you had seen in the past, like your parents, for example. So then it starts this whole thing. And then people pleasing, I think the way the people pleasing part comes in is you hear people talk about their relationships or their opinions about relationships, and then you sometimes, if you don't feel real confident about your own relationship, then you start to compare it. Like, oh my, well, actually what we were talking about was TV, right? So this gal was talking about how she was raised watching TV and how her impression of what a relationship should be like was formed by watching TV. And so she thought, if the guy doesn't bring me flowers, then he's a loser, or if he doesn't have a lot of money, all these kinds of things. And so I don't want to give too much personal information to expose her, but let's just say that that was not a good way for a relationship to maintain, and there was like a lot of disappointment along the way. But anyway, how do you get clarity? That's, I think, a really great question. How do you get clarity in this world of clutter? We live in a world of clutter. Probably your own house is cluttered. Maybe your car is cluttered. Maybe your desk is cluttered. And then even when you go out in the world, you've got TVs on and radios on and people talking loud. You're overhearing other people's conversations. You've got buses. I mean, depending on where you live, I know some of you live in the country and you don't deal with some of these things the way that we do in the city, but still, you've got wolves. Maybe not wolves. Okay, you got dogs barking next door. You got helicopters up above. I mean, even in beautiful remote Hawaii, you've got helicopters, right? You've got planes. You've got really loud car engines. You've got other people's music playing, and there's just no end to the things that can clutter your mind or take you off of your focus. So how do you get clarity? I think there's a couple ways that you get clarity. First of all, you got to write stuff down, I think is really important, or have something in writing or in pictures that you can look at and keep it as your own and remember it. Some people have journals, some people have vision boards, but personally, I think you should have one and you should look at it every single day. When people start distracting you by what they're saying, you have to take yourself back to what you want, which I think I'm simplifying it a little bit too much because it's not always that easy, but it's a starting point, right? And then just one other thing I want to add to that is like sometimes people say they know what they want, but actually they don't. They know what they don't want. There's a big difference between what you don't want and what you want. You have to be clear on what you want, not what you don't want. If you just keep thinking about what you don't want, then you're not being clear about what you want. I don't know how to say it any other way but that. What you don't want is probably based on the past. It's probably based on fear. And what you do want is probably based on hope or a dream or looking forward. And those two things, those things aren't compatible. So you have to decide what you want, and chances are what you want, somebody's going to tell you you can't have it, which is why you probably don't want to tell too many people what you want. You just have to know what you want. So then when people are talking and distracting you, you don't get wrapped up into their drama and into their story and into their preferences. So someone's saying, oh, this is the way it should be, and then you think, oh, that's the way it should be because they're saying it very convincingly and I kind of respect them, so maybe they're right and I'm wrong. Oh, I know, the other thing. See, speaking of clarity, I don't have much clarity right now. Not 100%. I wrote my little notes, but sometimes when I look at my notes, it distracts me too. You can be more clear about what you want. You can be more honest and more clear about what it is you want by looking about what you are doing right now or what you have done versus what you think you want. Your mind and your ego has all of these needs to keep its status up and to feel important and to not look weak and to not look bad. So you'll tell yourself sometimes, I want this and I want that, and I know exactly what I want, and it's a nice dream and it sounds really good and it makes you look really good. But if your daily actions over a period of a long period of time don't match up with that, then it really isn't what you want. You have to look at your actual life on your day-to-day activities, your day-to-day budget. What are you truly spending your money and your time on? That's what you want. And you might think, no, that's not what I want. I really want to get out of this. It's not true though. Maybe you want to be comfortable. Maybe you want to be, comfortable. Everybody wants to be comfortable. Maybe you don't want to be uncomfortable. I don't know. But anyway, it's a starting point. So where are you? What are you really doing? What are you really spending your money on? What are you really spending your time on? That's what you actually want. And then there's what you think you want, and your actions are going to have to change to get that. But if you have it written down, then it's a lot easier for your actions to change. If you have it visual, it's a lot easier for your actions to change. If you have no idea, or you're just keeping it in your mind and you're just wavering in the wind like a leaf, anytime anybody says something, you change your mind again, then there's never going to be any clarity, and it's going to be really hard for you to ever take the action or keep the action up. And it's going to be especially hard to take it or keep it up when it gets hard. And it's probably going to get hard. The bigger your dream is, the harder it's going to be, because it's going to be farther out of your comfort zone. That's it in a nutshell. That's enough. I'm trying to be clear, concise, to the point. Don't want to clutter it up with too many analogies or too many stories. Keep it simple. Stay in touch with me. My Gmail account, sherrygalvanized@gmail.com. That's the same address that I use for Venmo and for PayPal. If you've been enjoying these videos and you want to donate, contribute, contact, that's how you can do it. All right. Stay focused. Stay clear. Don't let comparison and people-pleasing clutter your mind. And amazing things will happen. Bye for now. Okay. I'm pushing the button and nothing is happening. I'm trying to turn it off and nothing is happening.